You're okay, ma'am. You're safe now. Can you look at me?
They're still out there.
We'll take care of it. Right now, we just need to get you warm.
Dispatch, victim located. We're heading back to the vehicle.
Easy does it. Lean on me.
Hey everybody, this is Colleen and I'm here with Trista. Welcome to another episode of Creme de la Cringe.
Hey guys, how was everyone's holidays?
I'm
Me and
glad
Colleen
they're
were
over.
just talking about how we're excited they are over. It has
Okay,
been such a draining last couple weeks.
it has been. I'm tired, you're tired, everybody's tired. Everybody at work looked pretty worn out too. Like, let's just get
Well,
on
and
with
then I get the, joy that I got a kid's birthday on New Year's.
Oh yeah,
So
that's right.
I've got Christmas and then we've got birthday on New Year's. So 1 week away. And then exactly 1 week from that is my youngest's birthday.
That's right. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, her birthday's tomorrow.
Oh yeah. I need to talk to you about that. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll figure out something. All right, so I have a case for you, and just so you know, I'm not presenting every week, but Trista's working on a really big case, and it's going to take some time. Her case may actually take 2 episodes, if not 3, because it's so lengthy. So I'm giving her some extra time to work on it. So this case deals with England's most notorious at the time serial killer. And I hadn't heard about this one. This was back in 1873.
So in England, is that kind of where Jack the Ripper or the Reaper?
Jack the Ripper was from England, yes. There's different cases back there. So this is March 14th, 1873. England's most notorious serial killer was hanged. Reporters and the public started arriving at the gates of the Durham jail at 7 a.m. to line up and watch. Okay. I don't know. Would you go watch? I guess if I was family.
I guess it depends on the scenario, like the situation, how bad everything was.
Right.
Then I think if it was like involving children and all that, yeah, I'd be front row.
So when I went up to, if you're from this area, then Idaho, Montana, you know that the Montana State Prison you can go through it now. It's very, very haunted. You can go through it. You can take all your ghost hunting stuff. Yeah, the one up in Deer Lodge. Well, one of the overnight ghost hunts that I've done, they brought in the old hanging, the traveling hanging news. They would just move it around the state behind a cart. It had wheels. Yeah,
That's
it was
crazy.
Huge. You would think, okay, just a noose. No, this thing was huge. I want to say 18 feet tall. Then have big wheels because they would use horses moving around. Yeah,
just like,
it was something.
Take it around and just.
Yep, they'd go from town to town, and Idaho had one too, and we would hang people right in front of the Portneuf Valley Brewery on First Street in Idaho. That was where they would put. So, just so you know, this stuff did happen, and it happened up until not too long ago in some places.
Yeah, I kind of wonder why it stopped.
Probably because they felt like it was inhumane. Like you got to kill them nicer. I don't know. Anyway, here we go. So this is a spectacle. And the public had wanted to see this happen from the date of the arrest. This person was hated. Okay. Her name, yes, her, was
Wait, what?
Yeah. Her name was Miss Mary Ann Cotton, and she was the first female to be executed in Durham, England since 1799. So it was just shy of 100 years. So
that's crazy.
80 years. Mary was allowed to visit with her relatives for about 45 minutes when the prisoners, while the prison guards looked for a stronger rope because they had put one up on the noose and they were testing it and it snapped. They're like, hold on, we need a better rope. So, yeah. So she was awoken at 3:30 a.m. And given a cup of tea at 5:30 a.m. She refused breakfast she couldn't eat. 3 Methodist ministers stayed with her and prayed, but she kept insisting she was innocent. She said the killings may have been an accident. She was born in 1832, and she was the daughter of Michael and Mary Robson. She lived in a house near this, I love the name of this, Hazard Pit, East Rainton. So, yeah, I don't know how they do it in England. So, Hazard Pit sounds like the town. East Rainton, maybe like the county. I don't know. You know, it was a village on the highway. Yeah, so it was called.
I don't know how they do it over there.
A village on highway between Durham and Sunderland. She was 14 years old when her father fell ill. No, I'm sorry. He fell into a mine shaft. Yeah, and he died. So that sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said he fell ill. I was thinking about something else. Mary was exemplary in school. She was like a straight A attendance. She was a regular attender of Sunday school. She had average intelligence. She was said to be innocent and kind and sweet. She was just a wonderful girl, you know?
That's how it always starts.
Yeah. The sassy ones aren't the ones committing murder. They're just mouthy.
Yeah.
It's always the nice, quiet girl. So
but you would never think would do something like that.
Correct. She married Willow Mowbray on June 24th, 1860, and one of her children died. And then she had 3 more that all died, one after another. And that's probably enough besides undiagnosed postpartum to send you bonkers, right? No one seems suspicion because the children died from a variety of factors at this time period. You had smallpox. I don't know. I think smallpox was still around him, but you had various flus. You didn't have very good health care. You're in a village. You know, it's got to be hard.
Yeah.
Then she lost her husband, and Willow. And so she moved to Seaham Harbor, where she rented a small house in a basement in Lord Seaham Inn. Sounds cool, an old inn. And then she moved there with the one living child. And shortly after she moved there, this child's gone. Then she was employed as a nurse in the fever ward of Sunderland Infirmary. That sounds awful.
Mm-hmm.
Anything called infirmary, you know?
It just doesn't say, yeah.
This does a bad name. She met a man named Ward. They were married, and then he died October 6, 1866. In 1867, she married a man named Joseph Robinson, not Robson, which was her parents, you know, her maiden name. So
Yeah.
Robinson, a mechanic. He was a widower who had 5 children. Mary left Joseph in 1889, but by that time, 4 of his 5 kids have died in what the doctor called gastric fever. Okay. Which, when I looked that up, it was a very common term for kind of like they didn't know. They used gastric fever a lot. So she became employed as a housekeeper at Dr. Hefferman's house called Spinnymore. I love it that the British, they name their homes. My grandpa named his home, but it was called Termite Towers. Spinnymore's got a little bit nicer ring.
It really does. Most of my family is from England.
Yeah. Maybe you need to name your place. So
right?
in 1870, she became employed, as I said, and then she married Frederick Cotton. She and her husband moved then to West Auckland. 3 months later, he became ill and died on September 1871. In the following March, her eldest stepson, Frederick Cotton II, died, and 3 weeks later, her own son, Robert Cotton, 10 years old, died. A lodger at the house named Natras was ill in bed at the time of the deaths, and he told a friend who visited him he wanted out of that house, but he never made it out. He died less than a week later. Yeah. A few
Okay, so
weeks.
wait, how many deaths are we
I
at now?
know.
Like,
I
was
kind
trying
of
to
come up with a count. I'll come up with a count later on. A few days before her son Robert died, she was visited by a Mr. Riley. He asked about hiring her to attend to a smallpox patient who was his own son. And he was on the upswing, though. He had gotten through most of it and he was mending, but he needed a little extra help while he was at work. And so she decided to take the child into her home. And she told Mr. Riley, this child, at that point, Robert was still alive, her boy. And she said, this child, pointing to her own healthy son, Robert, is in my way. And then she said, of course, he will never be able to get up. He'll go out like the rest of the Cotton family. So he's telling her this. And then Robert dies. And then he's like, oh, by the way, can you take care of my son? Like, nobody's putting all of this together. And she's saying, like, this kid's in my way. I don't want,
Like, I'm like, this is a black cloud of like the plague of a woman.
And then Mr. Riley, when she made a comment about his son being so ill, he said, oh, nonsense. He's fine. He's a healthy little fellow. A few days later, his son is dead. So he's astonished because his son had been improving. Like I said, he was on the upswing, and he openly stated his belief that his son had been murdered. And he went to another doctor named Dr. Kilburn and convinced him to get involved. And Dr. Kilburn decided to examine his son's body before burial because he's suspecting arsenic. He's like, wait a minute, how many people? Because she's moved a lot and nobody's connecting the dots.
Yeah.
So they rush over. He does a test. He said they took some of the stomach and the intestines back to his doctor's office from this guy's son, which is awful to think about, but what else are you going to do? And he did some testing and it came up as arsenic. And I know that arsenic will stain certain chemicals. Like if you use a chemical reagent on arsenic, it'll stain it. So that's what they were able to do and figure out that arsenic was present in this son's body and it shouldn't have been there. So they rush over to this man named Bishop Auckland, and they inform him and superintendent of the police force, his name was Henderson, of the discovery. And the following morning, they went to Mrs. Cotton's house and arrested her for the poisoning of this man's son and her stepson, Charles Cotton. Okay. I don't know that they put it together about Robert yet. The other son, the real son, not the stepson. Mrs. Cotton had come into money from British Prudential Insurance when Mr. Cotton died. It was also found out during the investigation she had insured every single one of the children, even her stepchildren, and every death she was getting a little bit of money. It wasn't an outrageous sum, but it was a little bit of money. Several,
it wasn't enough to flag something was up, but
yep. And she was living on that money and she was moving on that money. And so here's where I come up with a recap. In 1860, one child died. In 1864, another child died. In 1865, two more died. In 1866, another two. In 1867, 5 people were dead. 1871, 1 person. 1872, 4. That makes 16 deaths, all in her family, then the boarder, and the other man's son. So the newspapers say that there was more than 20 people. They suspect her in more. So
but that's the only ones that they can like really tie her to.
Yeah. So they did exhume Charles Cotton's body, Natras the boarder, his body, and 2 more of the children, and they all, the intestines were examined by this man named Dr. Scattergood, which is an awful name for that.
I mean, the other doctor's name was Kilborn.
Okay. So, he was an eminent toxicologist, and he lectured on forensic medicine in Leeds, England. So he was very renowned in his field. He found really high levels of arsenic in all the bodies, obviously. At the time of her arrest, she was pregnant again. So the trial was postponed until the spring because they wanted her to have the baby. Okay. Her trial took only 3 days, and she was sentenced, obviously, to death. She was found guilty at that point of killing upward of 25 people, but they still think there's more. They haven't been able to tie her to a lot more, but they believe there was a lot more.
That's insane.
Isn't it? Because, well, okay, so women typically go to poison. I mean, women serial killers tend to use poisons.
Yeah.
And they're the ones cooking usually, so they're the ones that, can slip it in the food. Like how many people are killed by women with antifreeze?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense, though, because, I mean, for a man to do it, the stature of a man is so much different than us. To where they can go in and do the really grotesque and just brutal things. Whereas a woman, we can't. To where...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her arraignment was August 21st, 1872. She exhibited no remorse or feelings at the trial. When her date of execution was given to her, she merely replied, "Thank you, sir." She proclaimed her innocence from jail to anyone and everyone who would visit her. She stated her only crime was that she was guilty of bigamy because her 3rd husband, the only living husband, was still alive when she married her 4th husband. Yeah.
If he ran, he was very, very smart.
He was lucky. He was very lucky.
Very, yeah.
So on Saturday night, the night before hanging, or on Sunday night, the night before hanging, sorry, she retired about 10:30 in her cell, like she went to her smoking jacket.
Like, no big deal.
Retired.
Yeah.
The woman I know, it's crazy, isn't it? The woman in charge reported that she slept tolerably until about 4 a.m. because they have a watch on him, obviously, before execution, because they don't want them to take themselves out before the execution.
Right.
They want it. Well, I mean, think about it. So the prison system's charged with keeping them safe until that moment. So she arose. Like I said, she only took a cup of tea. And then they said she took a cup of tea as a slight physical support through the terrible ordeal through which, within the next 3 hours, she had to pass. I love the writing. I know. So about 6 a.m., the reverends came in, and they said they were admitted to the Gaol. And I've seen this a lot, that in England they call it the Gaol. It's a jail or the prison, Gaol. They proceeded to her cell. They prayed. Then she prayed for the female wardens, for her friends, for her spiritual advisors. 10 minutes to 8 a.m., the tolling of the death bell was heard in her room. Shortly after 7 o'clock that morning, the reporters, whose unpleasant duty it was to witness the infliction of the death punishment upon the condemned culprit, assembled in front of the prison gates. As she left her cell for the hangman's noose, she stated, "Heaven is my home." It is stated that she continually prayed and muttered on the way up the steps to the courtyard. When she arrived at the courtyard, the reporters and the public parted, and she opened her hands and said, "Lord, have mercy," and seemed amused at the crowd. They said, this newspaper reporter said, she dragged her unwilling limbs by the sheer strength of will, and once or twice appeared to break down altogether. She wore the coarse black and white check shawl and scanty black skirt in which she appeared upon her trial. Her head was bare, and her long black hair fell loose around her face. When the prisoner and her guard had moved past, the press were marshaled in order behind, and followed the procession. The miserable creature flinched visibly when suddenly brought face to face with death. And they had to support her lightly at each elbow to assist her up to the noose. The guard slipped a white cap over her head and face and then put the noose around her neck. The guard then manacled her ankles together and I don't know what they shackled her ankles together, and I haven't heard this done in the other cases that we've discussed, so I don't know.
I wonder why.
I don't know. They said then the guard stepped to the side planks within a couple of feet of the doomed woman, and instantly afterwards the assistant pulled the lever and the drop fell. The jerk was terrific, and the victim of the law spun around and twisted from side to side in a horrible manner. The guard actually had to take hold of her shoulder and held her steady so she'd quit swinging.
Just a swinging.
Just a swinging. Just a swinging. The undersheriff actually fainted. It was so bad. Like, it was so bad. Mary Ann Cotton had paid the full penalty exacted by English law for whatever crime she committed. So, this is interesting to me. After her execution, children in town would skip to this rhyme. Get ready for this. Mary Ann Cotton, she's dead and she's rotten. She lies in her grave with her mouth wide open. Sing, sing, what shall we sing? Mary Ann Cotton was hung on a string. Good! It's like, wow! I'm like,
I mean, in a sense, all of our nursery rhymes come from...
They're bad. They're real bad.
They
all
are.
of our nursery rhymes. But, like, they immediately started, apparently, this isn't a
The kids are just like, do-do-do. Like, she was just a swinging.
Just a swinging. So what happened to her baby? Because remember, she was pregnant. So
Yeah.
she did have the baby. The baby was named Margaret, and she was born January 7th, 1873. She was given to a couple named Sarah and William Edwards a few days before Mary's execution, so she was able to nurse the baby for a few days. They changed her name to their surname, and at age 17, she married a man named Joseph Fletcher, who was a minor. They had a daughter in 1892 named Clara, and I love that name, Clara. And in 1893, they sailed to New York from England. They had a son named William in New York, and then she was pregnant with child number 3 when Joseph was killed crossing a railroad track. She sailed back to England in 1894, where she gave birth to John Joseph. And after her father died, she went and moved in with her father. So she lived with her father with her children. When her father died, she and the children moved back to the United States. And when World War I broke out, her 2 oldest sons went to war. The oldest son died at the Battle of Messines in 1972. I'm not sure if I'm saying that wrong. Her second son was seriously injured and died in a field hospital November 4th. Margaret died at age 70 or 81, so she lived a pretty good life.
That's good.
On August 19th, 1954. 2 of her children, Clara and Robinson, outlived her and have descendants, and that is wonderful. And to all of the people in this woman's wake, I hope they rest in peace, because this one was a doozy.
Yeah. I don't understand mothers. I don't understand how a mother can, to their own child.
There's a little tidbit that I just scrolled to and I didn't even see it. I forgot about this. So the serial killer, Mary, she is still seen in the home where she was arrested. People see glimpses of her still to this day.
I wonder if there wasn't like some kind of mental illness or something.
Has to be. How can you?
Yeah.
Arsenic is not an easy death. It's not like, I mean, forgive me, but I mean, no death is good, but shooting somebody and killing them instantly, arsenic
compared
is
to poisoning them,
horrible stomach cramps. I mean,
yeah,
it's a horrible death. And
Yeah.
how many? 20? How many? They said that she did 20 something people. They got her on
Up to 25 that they
20. Yeah, 25, and they think there's a lot more.
I mean, and I'm like, how? Like, how did you
She
get
kept
away
moving.
with this? Like, I
She
mean,
kept
other
moving.
than that, she kept moving, and she was like a black widow because she would just go marry the next one, have a kid, and it seems like it was all for money.
So she killed all of her children and all of her husband's children. She got them all. I mean, and come on. That's
I mean,
no. I
I
mean,
can
what's the odds
understand.
on that happen naturally? You would think
Yeah.
somebody would go, wait a minute.
I'm
You
like,
know,
even with her first husband and the 5 kids, I'm like, okay, how is not anybody clicking that? Like, okay, damn, you just must have the most crappiest luck
right?
that all 5 of your children have passed away without
Well,
having a thought like, okay, wait, something might be going on here. This
and she might
isn't
not have said
normal.
anything until people started digging through the case. You know, newspaper reporters or detectives. She may not have, as she moved, she may never have even said she was married before. I mean, Robert was still alive. She didn't kill him until he was 10. And so, you know, back in this time frame, she may have told him, keep your mouth shut or you're gone.
I'll do to you like I did the rest.
And so he was
And then she
probably
ended up doing it
terrified of her.
anyways. Like, that's
Yeah,
just so disgusting. Like,
it is.
I don't understand, especially when it comes to a mother, how you can do that to your own child. And we've seen it so much lately.
Oh,
Like,
okay. So we
I
have
don't get
Lori
it.
Ann Vallow.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was thinking Marianne Cotton. Lori Vallow, Daybell. And then that woman in Utah, we don't know what she's done with her kids. She just took off, all part of this whole LDS thing down there. Some kind of
Yeah.
offshoot, or some kind of end times that they believe in, because Lori Vallow Daybell believed in that too.
Yep.
Yeah, and so this woman just took off with her kids, and they think she's somewhere in Europe, but they don't know. I mean, she flew to Amsterdam with them, but from there they've lost her. And I saw an interview with that poor man, and he's like, I can't even think about the Daybell case right now. I can't think about it because he doesn't want to, you know, like, oh my God, I'll just go crazy if I think about what's she doing to my kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of weirdness, and then the Daybell.
The which one? Sorry.
Chad Daybell's nephew down in Logan. I think that
Oh,
one was out.
yeah.
Yeah, just their baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just, I'm sorry, but I don't know what's going on in the world anymore.
I
The
really
new
don't
cases
either. And
really bother me. The older cases don't, I guess because they're so old. The new cases because we're living through it. We're watching it in the media, and it's like, oh my God.
and that's it. Like, the only way to find out about the old ones is if like you went to their like newspaper or whatever, because not everybody had access to all that. And now,
And
I
not
mean, you
everybody
turn on
read.
anything. Yes. And now you turn on
So,
anything and it's
yeah,
every day. Every day it's something. And I don't know. I could not do it. I mean, if I had to defend myself, most definitely, if it become between you and my children and me,
right.
but to just go out there and do it, and especially to my own kids, no. Like, I
Yep,
don't understand why people's minds, I don't
I
know.
know.
The
So
It's
this
different.
was Marianne Cotton. This was at the time. I don't know. I'd have to go back now and look and see. She was England's most notorious serial killer. I don't know if they've had anybody top that. So hope not.
I hope not.
You know,
I mean, that's
uh,
pretty
I mean, we do
extreme.
crime that
20.
I don't necessarily. I don't want it to happen. We just report on
No.
it that it's happened. So I don't know though. I know the one. We'll have to look up this case, and some of our viewers probably know it. I think it was Russia. That guy in Russia. This. Ooh. There was many, many, many more than that. Yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
I think what's crazy to me is the women. That's what's crazy to me. is
Well, I think anybody. I think yeah, I mean it's hard. Women with your own children, especially. Yeah.
I don't understand it.
So. Well, thanks everybody for joining us for this
Yes, thank
this
you.
episode, and we'll come at you next week with another one. Maybe Trista, at that point, you'll have the first part of your
I
case
will
done.
have it ready, guys.
All
I will
right,
have it ready.
and it's a doozy, guys. That one is a doozy. So, and it's more recent. It's pretty recent as time
Yeah.
goes. So,
And it's crazy because it's actually a family tie. So it's kind
yeah,
of weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thanks.
Signing off.
Bye, guys.